Hello, everyone, and welcome to our weekly based jam sessions. And today's session will be on building an e-commerce Dapp using base pay and base account. And the facilitator will be Christine Kenya. Christine, welcome.
Hello everyone, welcome to our Monday jam session. Today we're going to be creating an e-commerce Dapp with base pay and base account. And for those who have been following our previous sessions, we have done base pay as a separate module on its own, and we have also done base account separately. So now we want to use them in an application. We want to see them in a use case. We want to combine base pay and base account. Base account for authentication and base pay for base pay for making the payment. The code base is already done, which I should push to our branch before we get to our repo before we get started. We'll have to do this fast before we get started because today the code is there. We're not going to code live. We're going to do a walkthrough of the code. So we want you to run it from your side as I explain it so we can have a full flow of how it works. I'm sure you're all aware of our community GitHub. So the repo is e-commerce with base pay, base account and pay. Yes, I should share this in case. So yes, we're going to go ahead and get started. The README has a whole flow, step by step, explaining what is where, what does each code do. So it's a base e-commerce app. We're going to be customizing the names here and there as you understand the code. So base account for authentication and base pay for checkout is the functionality we actually want to see. So first is base account authentication, product catalog, shopping cart, base pay, checkout, data persistence. We are not using a database, so we are storing this data locally on a JSON file. It was easier that way. And then the rest are just fancy features. So the first step, I'm going to do a walkthrough on a different project, but we're really going to be understanding the code base here. So the first step is we're using React for this. So the normal flow of creating a React app. So npx create React app. You give it a name. So for example, in our case, it will be EA shop, EA base. This is going to refuse. You're not telling me I shouldn't be using uh, shop, and this is going to take a while. This is React. It's going to take a while to do the installation. But when it's doing that, I will explain what happens next. Or we will have an experience of the platform that we are going to work with. So just a moment. Clear it. Let me run again and start. Sorry. So this opened the what we are going to work on. Don't worry about the design. Looks a bit messy, but yes. So if we view the JSON file as of now, it has users. We only have one user so far. So this is to store users. This is for product. Don't worry, I avoided the whole database to save on time. So this is to save the products that we have that you can see listed there, and this is for orders. So we're going to go ahead and probably create one more account, one more user. So I think this, if it was easier for me to access it from a place where it's not authenticated yet, to show creating a user. Forgot to add a logout button. Okay, I'm going to clear cache to make it easier because we don't have. Yes. So this is the first page, the sign up page. Welcome to Base e-commerce sign in with Base to start shopping. So this is done. Let me continue explaining the authentication flow first. So for first time users, they're going to visit the e-commerce. They click on it, sign in with Base button, then the Base account SDK prompts for them to provide biometrics. This is if they have an account or not. So a new Base account is created automatically and a user is created in our user JSON database, then user gains access to the shopping, to the e-commerce. So first step, if the user has a base account, they just sign in. If they don't, they're prompted to create one. So in our flow of signing in, so user can either sign in or create an account. I think I'm going to go with create an account. Shop account. Let's give it that shop EA, then continue. Then use this. This takes a while from my phone. So yes, so you see, this is a different address from what we had previously because we have created a new user. So if I open here, refresh this data, I think we lost our previous user. But yeah, we have one user. Sorry, maybe the data is not as persistent as I thought, but we have the user we created right now. So yeah, that is the flow of authentication. And before we go to shopping, let's have a look at how did we get there from the code perspective. So with our new what did we name it? Base EA shop. Okay. So according to our documentation, the first step is to install the dependencies. Which dependencies are we using? The base org account. This is the SDK for creating a base account, and then account UI, generally to help us create button. That is the checkout button and the sign in with base button. So we're going to go ahead to our React project that we have already initiated and opened the code. So we say yarn add, should just copy what is here. So if you have the documentation, you can code along with us. If you did clone it, because all this is in the code on the GitHub repository. So you install this. That's also going to take a while. So as we do that installation, let's go to that code that we're going to work with, which is the first step is authentication, creating user and authentication. So this is first time users. Returning users, they automatically connect to their base account. They do not have to create an account. So open, good. Yes. So first step is to initialize the SDK. So after installing base org account and base account UI, you import them. This is a flow we really understood very well from the first flow. You initialize the SDK. You initialize the SDK. This is for checking for connections. So I will skip on some codes before I explain them. So this is for initializing the SDK, and then I will go straight ahead to the button for signing in to explain what is happening from there. So this sign in button that we clicked here, okay, disaster. We really need the button to log out. this should work. So from this button, what happens when you click that button? So it calls handle sign in. What is happening in the handle sign in? The handle sign in is, this should not be the case anyway. So the handle sign in is getting an account using the SDK. That is why we're using ETH request account. But in this case, I think it should be, as from our previous classes, it should be Wallet Connect, not if get account. So if the account and account length is less than, there is no one account, so you go ahead and set up user wallet and set signing in as true. So this set up user wallet. So you have user wallet, set user wallet. This is to manage state for the user's wallet. When the users sign in, this is to allow us to store the user wallet and user wallet address. Sorry, this now. And then we get the user using the wallet, and then we create a user or update a user. So this create or update a user, these are basically some functions I created that are creating a user to the JSON file instead of us having a backend that we are using. So all this is coming from, where is it? Data storage.js. This in the utils. It has the default data, which we are seeing, which is this JSON. The JSON data. It has users, products, and orders. So this is what we have here: users, which we are saving them once a user is created; products that we have already pre-listed them; and orders. So once I create a new user, there is this save user, which is appending the new data to users. So so to the new user, the new user who creates an account, save user is called, as we have seen from here. So get user, so this create or update user, this function takes you here where we are calling save user from here. So save user from here is loading data into the user object we have here. I think that is well explained of how we're doing authentication. This is very similar to how the database works, but we're using a JSON to save our data in this instance. So if I go ahead, this is done loading. So our first step in here is to clear this. So I'm thinking we said we're not doing live coding. So from here, you're going to follow the documentation. So I am going to explain step by step. So we have done our first step, which is how signing and creating a user works, which we have seen. We added this user and we saw them here. These are different address. So if we come here and try to, remember here, we don't have any user. This is a different browser email. So if I sign in with this, I will choose different passkeys as compared to this. So I will, so sign in here with this address, which is previously the address we had logged in here. So if I confirm, what happens? Okay, yeah, we were able to log in. I don't know why that took time, but yeah, you can debug the code at some point. So you see we have a new user. I think the data is persisting on the browser. So we're going to have different data on these browsers compared to this. But we can see there is a new user that has been created with no orders. So if I go ahead and try to add an item to the cart, these are normal functions of e-commerce, adding a product to the cart and then the cart is updated with one new product. And then, so here is where we use base pay. I will also explain the code of adding a product step by step. So in here you saw we have orders, and then we have this load data is what is making storages in local storage. Actually, this data is persisting on the local storage of the browser. So that's why we're able to use it, but we're not saving it anywhere. So once we clear cache, we don't have that data anymore. So this is for getting user by wallet, save order. So this save order and this update order status. So this save order is what is called when you add product to the cart and try to check out. So we're going to go to that button. So we start from what we're experiencing on the browser. Sorry. We're going to go to the shopping cart. That's product catalog, add to cart. Yeah, so this function is being called for every product you click add to cart. So setting set cart, this is to manage states of what is in the cart, of what product are in the cart. So the previous cart, what was previously there, and then you update if there was a product, the existing product, you find product ID. Sorry, I am sorry. I am I am sorry for that. I had to get some water. But uh, simply, all this code is how you update what is in the cart. So if if the product is existing, it's an existing item, you return. So let me take you to what this is. Yes. Yeah, so you see where we're having update quantity is where we are setting. We have this well where we're mapping item ID to the product ID. So this is how we update. Most of the code here is how we update what product and how many products are on the cart. I will rush through this. So add to cart. The add to cart is, please give me a minute. Sorry for that. Let's go ahead. I had to recollect myself. So we've seen what the hard to cut function is doing. Also update quantity. This is, it takes product ID and new quantity. So how much of the new product? So for example, if I add this product to cart, and then I click one, I add one more. So this keep track of how many how many product are in the cart for that product ID. So every time you add a new product, it keeps track of the count of the similar products that you're buying, and then remove from the cart basically is to delete a product from the cart. The calculate total, this is cart reduce item. So this is to calculate the total price. So it takes the item price and then multiplies with the quantity of the item. So if you're buying four of this type, so it takes the price and multiplies with the quantity of those products you're buying. So this is what handles checkout. So we I think now we have understood to do this to this is just for toggling dark mode. Yeah. So so far we've understood what all these other functions are doing up here. If it's to create user, if it's to handle sign in, if it's to add a product to the cart, update the quantity of that product in the cart, and update the price and remove product from the cart. So in this case is where the checkout where we're using BizPay now. So we're going to have an experience of it first before we actually understand the code. So I am going to go ahead and this wallet doesn't have funds. So I'm going to use this because it has funds. So we can remove this and start from. So we add this product. Remember, we do not have any product on our orders. And after we're done with this, we should have a product on our orders with a status. So we go to cart, we check out with this. And then you see that the amount of the product is what we are paying here. So we pay. Advantage, your users will not pay gas fee. So you connect device. Sorry, this is just for authentication purposes. Yeah, so we didn't have a toast for showing that that is completed, but yes, so we go to the product, we refresh, and yes, we have one order with the wallet address. This as the address that ordered. The item is this premium wireless headphones. The price, the quantity is one, the total amount, the status is payment initiated. So we should wait. So let me explain how the status is being done. So far, we have seen we've added an order and it's in the order data, so we can follow through the checkout flow. So once you click the checkout button, it first checks if you're signed in. So is user signed in? If the user is not signed in, you're asked to sign in first before you check out. Why? You need to be a user for you to be able to check out on the product. And you also need a base account for you to be able to use BasePay. Then if cart is 0, then you don't have anything that you're buying, so you ask to add a product to the cart. And then the total amount equals to the calculated total. Remember this function that was calculating total price? So the total amount is equal to that. The order data is the address, the user wallet address. The item is what is in the cart. And then total amount is here, what has been calculated. The status is set to pending on the first on order creation. So we save order. So this function of saving order is what is in the data storage, the JS that loads the order object in our simple default database. So sorry, back here. After saving the order, we now start checking. We now initiate the base payment. So we call the base the pay function from base org account. So this pay function, we had an experience of how it works previously, so you understand. You pass amount to the addresses. We autofill this address, but you can have address listed on the merchant product, and then the test net is true. So we're testing this on testnet. Then we update order status by, so we have a function here that is checking payment status. So it's checking payment status by ID. Remember, we were creating an ID that we're going to use to identify each payment. So it's checking status for a product by ID. So if it's successful, it updates the status of the transaction and also saves and updates the data on the order. So if this was successful, if we came back and refreshed, um, why is the status not changing? Maybe this refresh is not working. Let go through the code. We're going to check why the status is not updating after this. So if the status updates to success, we update order status. This is a function from here. Also, the our temporary database. So we load the data and update the status on the saved order data. So we are saving it still on the order. Yeah, so we are still appending, so it's more updating the data, the status of the transaction on our default, our temporal database. And then we set the payment status to failed if the sorry, we update the status in this case and then set it to successful, then update the user. So we update the user with user data. So remember, in our user we have this data where we're saving um, total orders and total amount spent. So we also update the user details with that, and then we save the user and save and set the user data to updated. So we have we're managing the state of the user data, so we update that data after saving all this, and then we set cart to empty, but this is not working. And no, all this happens if the status is successful. So as long as, okay, this was cleared. No, I'm using this one. No, the cart was not cleared, so that means the transaction was not successful yet. And set is cart visibility as false. So the cart is only okay, the cart is only visible once we add a product. Yeah, the notification. So if it failed, update the order to failed, set status to payment failed, please try again. The try and catch if statement as if the status is equals to failed. If it states to pending for a long time, we provide the status of the transaction and we set timeout and check payment status again. So, yes. These are two functions. I think the function of checking out, I have explained it. These two other functions are just for toggling from dark mode to white to light mode. So yes, so let's find out why the status is not updating. Okay, let's console log. Let's do that. And also console log. No, we have the ID, the status ID. So we're going to test in here. We're going to check the account we are making payment to confirm if payment are being received. So let's keep track of the balance and see if the payment for this $2 is going to be made. So we add to cart, we check out. We don't have enough balance in this. So let's use the account that has the balance. Status not found. So we have a second order and the status still is payment initiated and we're getting here payment status not found. Okay, we can see how we're getting status from here. Let's go back to the documentation. Oh, sorry. Let's first confirm if the payment got to the wallet so that we can know if it's our function that's failing. Yes, the payment got to the wallet. The payment of $2.99 got to the wallet that was being made payment to. So it works, but the status is not updated, which was the assignment I gave you last time. Who checked on the code? You should also ask the teacher why she didn't find out why it's failing. But if you go to the docs, I think you can check from the docs. Maybe we are having it. We're having the function the wrong way to check status. That's why we keep getting ID not found. So at this point where we create an ID for payment and try to check status with the ID, we get not found. So this is to wrap up. Actually, we are checking why the payment is not working to wrap up this. So for today, you'll have to go through all the what is on the README. It explains everything in the code step by step and what most of the part of the code is working and how the flow works. And try to run it and build it from your side, and also try to replicate the same thing, maybe using a database and not a local storage. But we're going to check on why we can't update status today. Um, let's get we should be taken to the documentation. Where's okay? And don't check status. So ID. So set payment ID, not payment ID. Okay, let's add a checker to check if the payment ID exists. Use so status ID, payment ID. Okay. So first, before try and catch, let check if the payment ID exists. Let's try one more time. And I noticed this account ran out of funds. If there are any questions, be sending them on the chat because after this debugging, we're wrapping up and giving you time to have a look at the code on GitHub and also contribute something to the code like an update, a feature. Tell us, send a PR on why we were unable to fix a bug while live coding. So that's why you have access to that code. It might look like a small project, but that's how you start learning how to collaborate on open source. Okay, let's find it from the faucet. We still got status not found. Maybe we should increase this time. We're trying to check for status again before the payment is made. We increase the timeout and see. I should reduce the price of this to $1 to make easier for us with making these payments. And if this fails, it becomes your assignment again. seems like the price is not updating. Okay. And maybe that's why we're not getting the status, because even when we try to check this, the app is not updating. Why? Let's just still test with this $2 one. Let's wait since we increased the timeout and see if we're going to get status not found again. Okay. So we're still getting payment initiated, and we're at a very long timeout. Yep. We keep getting, see this, it's updating the number of times this is logged. We keep getting status not found. So since this code is on GitHub, and I'm going to push the bug fixes or the updates down now, I'm going to pull and have a look at it, run it, check why the status is not updating, and test it. That's all we're doing for today, and sorry for the many distractions that we've had. I'm sorry for my voice also.
Thank you so much, Christine. I mean, we didn't notice as much distraction. It's just very typical of our environment where there's always something happening. Thank you so much for taking us through um, setting up an e-commerce store. It's also good motivation for all who are interested in getting started, especially if you're very, very new to Web3 and you want to build an on-chain product. This would be, a perfect place to start from. Would also be a perfect place to start from contributing to the code base, and also, getting into the community. We've shared this within our socials on Based East Africa. Feel free to extend the project, to copy it. We already have on-chain summer coming, already happening, not coming soon. So it's already happening. Feel free to participate. Even if you're a newbie with a variation of this, or build something that can be a mini app within the base app, there are multiple options that you can take. So with that happening, I think we can call it a close, unless there's an additional bit you'd want to add, Christine.
Someone asked for the link, which I shared. Oh yeah, the link was shared. Okay, okay. Thank you.
All right. Until Friday, see you all. Thank you for your time. Bye.